Hey everybody, welcome back to DX News. In case you're wondering what we're doing back so soon, you might be catching a little bit more of us than you're used to. Hope you enjoyed that extra episode a week. We're gonna start off with Kwon, our very own never-ending story. Your grandma's gift that keeps on giving, even long after you don't want it to give anymore. The man who collapsed a multi-billion-dollar protocol and quite arguably the whole crypto market is on the run. Yep, that dude. He's back. But this time he's back to say that he's not on the run. Last episode we talked about how Do Kwon was not in Singapore after South Korean authorities issued an arrest warrant, finally. So he tweeted he was willing to cooperate, but also mocked everyone who got screwed by this tweet. TBH, haven't gone running in a while. TBH, to be honest, you prick. Need to cut some calories. I am not on the run or anything similar. For any government agency that has shown interest to communicate, we are in full cooperation and we don't have anything to hide. Lying bastard. Everything is fun and games until Interpol gets involved, and the country who is actually looking for you saying you're hiding. This is a text message from one of the prosecutors to Bloomberg. There has been circumstantial evidence of escape ever since he left for Singapore, and that is why an arrest warrant was issued in the first place. Well, duh. I mean, you don't need to be that smart to figure out that it's his own fault. So if you're not on the run, why not just give yourself up? Why continue the charade? So, not being where you're supposed to be when you're being looked for is exactly the definition of on the run. People aren't stupid, asshole. Or maybe they are. That's why they invested with you in the first place. Although he could be just very cute and actually do believe that people mean that he is going out for a run. Our quirky fitness-loving fugitive might wind up shoving his quirky tweets up his ass now that Interpol's involved. According to a report by the Financial Times, the Seal's Southern District Prosecutor's Office has begun procedure to place a red notice with Interpol about Do Kwon and eventually revoke his passport. Oh, hey dude, put the Fox on the Run song. So whatever happens, the only result we want at DX is that the people affected can finally get their justice, and Do Kwon gets an unlimited supply of cavity searches. So the SEC has been very angry at influencers lately. We like to think that it's some higher up in the SEC who is addicted to trading shitcoins and is constantly getting scammed, so now he's bullying everybody else. Right now, the latest target is an influencer called Balina, and his charges are related with the promotion of Spark token. With a name like Balina, you actually should be prosecuted by the SEC. So the company behind that project is currently being charged with $35 million for raising an ICO of $30 million. These unregistered funds were for the ICO of a platform that was meant to help children by furthering their education. This happened all the way back in 2018, and these fuckers are finally seeing the consequences. Better late than never. And one of the promoters of this scam was the gentleman we were mentioning, Balina, and here's what CoinDesk had to say about it. In a complaint filed Monday in the Western District of Texas Austin Division, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, said Balina promoted an unregistered securities offering for Spark tokens between April and July 2018 and did not disclose that he was paid by the Cayman Islands-based issuer Sparkster Limited to do so. Additionally, Balina is accused of violating the Securities Act by forming an investment pool on Telegram with which to resell his own Spark tokens, therefore conducting his own unregistered offering of Spark tokens. Wow, that's a mouthful. So an influencer promoting shitcoins and not saying that he was being paid to promote them. Kind of sounds familiar. Where have I heard that before? Oh, I remember. Well, at this rate, if this keeps up, BitBoy's gonna have a lot of his peers in jail when he joins them. The influencers in question received $5 million to promote these shitcoins. Now, the SEC hasn't yet finalized how exactly they will get him to repent, but we know and we believe and we hope it hurts. Moving along, we got a scam for you, a big one actually. We got an algorithm market maker by the name of Winterfell who has been scammed. Or actually their name was Wintermute. If their name was Winterfell, nobody would have messed with them because the North remembers. So anyway, their market maker was unmade. That's a terrible joke. That's worse than the Game of Thrones. We're sorry for anyone who had to put up with our bad joke. Anyway, on Tuesday, the DeFi protocol was hacked for $160 million. And this happened across 90 different assets, and here is what the CEO had to say about it. We've been hacked for about $160 million in our DeFi operations. CeFi and OTC operations are not affected. We are solvent with twice over that amount in equity left. If you have an MM agreement with Wintermute, your funds are safe. There will be a disruption in our services today and potentially for the next few days, and we'll get back to normal after. Out of 90 assets that have been hacked, only 2 have been for over 1 million and none more than 2.5. So there shouldn't be a major sell-off of any sort. We will communicate with both teams affected ASAP. If you are a lender to Wintermute, again, we are solvent, but if you feel safer recalling the loan, we can absolutely do that. We are still open to treating this as a white hat, so if you are the attacker, get in touch. So, summarized, if you have the mental capacity of the average Ponzi lover, here's a summary for you. Theory, because the attacker took several assets or many different assets, even if he were to dump all of them, it wouldn't have a huge negative effect on the price of those assets. That is, in comparison to other protocols that have been totally drained and liquidity totally dropped out. They're also flexing they have over $320 million left, so that should be a good thing. Now, because of the speculation, the nature of these things, people expect and are actually rumoring that it could be just some sort of wash trade. I think we need some new era of internet security here because there are too many protocols that are getting hacked over and over again, and I hope we can get to the bottom of this. Call him Batman. Continuing with the SEC, this time with XRP. You know it's meant to be. Ooh, this rhyme is almost as good as the ones from C-Money. Shit. So we're back one more time with the SEC, and this time they're continuing their battle with XRP, which is longer than the chicken and the egg dilemma. So honestly, we believe that it would be better at this point that if you get one member of each side and just go to the ring and battle it out. So they and I and all of us watching are tired of this shit. So they told Judge Annalisa Torres to decide it for herself. So they don't want to go to a lengthy trial, and they want the decision to be made based on the documents that they have already submitted over the last couple of years. The parties have filed various discovery motions over the past 2 years without really litigating the actual underlying issue, whether Ripple violated securities law by selling XRP. The motions for summary judgment means the parties are asking the court to actually decide whether either the SEC or Ripple has provided enough to prove one way or another whether there was a violation. Ripple has publicly tweeted several times the steps it was taking and would take in order to ensure a use case for XRP, and by doing so, protecting the integrity and the liquidity of the market, said the SEC in its filing. Even if the SEC were to engage in a belated post-discovery transaction-by-transaction analysis to identify XRP offers and sales with contracts, its claim would still fail as a matter of law. Not one of those contracts granted post-sale rights to recipients as against Ripple or imposed post-sale obligations on Ripple to act for the benefit of those recipients, the filing said. At this point, it doesn't matter who wins, just get over this damn thing. And the SEC is kind of like desperate. They see they're not going into anywhere with XRP and they quickly want to wrap this shit up so they can move on to Cardano and not make themselves look so bad for wasting the people's money and time. My 2 cents. So if you made it this far, guys, we really appreciate it. We thank you for joining us. And so please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't done it already. Remembering our team is continuing to build in this bear market, and as soon as version 3.9 rolls out, we're going to see the great new things that DX has to offer. Don't forget to join the whitelist for NFT brawlers if you haven't done it already. And as always, please remember to do your own research. Until next time.